The hardest part of the job is doing the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wanna do the opening, Brandon?
Sure. What's the opening?
Yeah, see, cue the music, guy.
Oh, cue the music.
No, you gotta look up that way.
Cue the music.
Alright, guys. Keelan's back here, and I'm here with my friend Brandon. He wanted to do a collab together today with a spoiler review for the Avengers Infinity War movie that I'm pretty sure a good amount of you should have seen. If you haven't seen it, well, you guys are really missing out because there's a bunch of spoilers on Instagram, so there's no way in hell you're not going to see the movie while already knowing a couple things. So today we are here to talk more, a little bit, touch up on a little bit what I wasn't able to speak about in my spoiler-free review. If you haven't seen that video, you can always go see it. It should be under here, under this video. So without further ado, Brandon, what is it exactly that you want to start off with today?
Well, I guess the first thing is more so like just, this is a spoiler review, so if you're still here and you care about spoilers, then you shouldn't be here. But I guess the first thing we could talk about is just the intro in general, how you immediately see Thanos, fighting Hulk, and it doesn't immediately happen like that, but in the first around 10 minutes, you definitely see an Avenger fighting Thanos, and he already has Thor crippled and most of the Asgardian ship in peril.
Yeah, no, dude, honestly, I thought that was crazy, that fact that, because yes, the Thor Ragnarok movie did end with, the ship already coming, so that's cool. So I'm glad we didn't have to go through the whole process of him actually destroying the ship and everything. I thought that would have been, I wouldn't have anything against it. It's just that I'm fine with that not being there. I'm still kind of curious, that's just me personally, dude, where Valkyrie is. I'm just saying, man, it just seems, you introduced this cool character, then now she's just gone.
Right, and they did actually, the directors of Infinity War did confirm that Valkyrie is still out at large, and they didn't necessarily confirm if she's gonna play a pivotal role in the next film or anything like that, but she is still out there. She's not dead, and that's a good confirmation at least that we will probably most likely see a little bit more of Valkyrie.
No, it's great, man. I love Tessa Thompson. She's a real good actress. I think it's actually really gonna help her career, honestly, a lot. So I'm glad that all occurred. I actually can't deny that I'm not surprised at all that Loki was going to die. He was one of the few that actually were expecting to die. Especially because what else was there to do with him?
Yeah.
Honestly, after this whole thing, I didn't feel like there was more Thor movies to come, personally. Also, a lot of people love him as a villain. So I think they basically made him good at that point. So there's nothing else you can really continue with that character.
Yeah, they already, had Loki as the fucking main villain for, Avengers 1, and he did as good as you can do as Loki in Avengers 1. So and seeing him in cameos here and there, especially in Thor Ragnarok and everything, it's nice. But at a certain point, you just lose any value you have with the character. I'm sure you could probably do a little bit more Loki, but if they want to kill him off in this movie and he does indeed look dead, that's just, we're gonna have to live with that. Hey, characters are gonna have to die. Would you rather have Loki die? Would you rather have, Thor die? So it's kind of like, I'm okay with Loki dying.
Yeah, especially when you hear his neck crack, you see the blood come out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty dead. I know in the second Thor movie, I barely watched it. I know he supposedly died in that one. Obviously, that was like a farce. So I'm glad that in this one, for sure, he did die, definitely, from that neck crack. I know he's a god of mischief and all that, but I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Right, you even hear Thor mentioning that, oh yeah, I do think he's really dead this time. It's more of an emphasis that maybe the directors wanted to give that, yeah, he's actually dead, and we want this weight of this character to, dawn on you and feel it throughout the whole movie. Because, they don't really even mention Loki or anything after that. And the ship exploded and everything, and hey, people gotta die. Loki dies. It's not really the biggest.
Him and Heimdall.
Yeah, him and Heimdall. Heimdall did die, but hey, Heimdall put Bruce Banner back in the Avengers territory in Earth, And then Loki actually tried to stab Thanos as a last resort kind of thing before he even gave him the Tesseract. So you gotta, at least commend their last dying wishes that they tried to do something against this Titan.
Yeah. And he even told him, you'll never be a god, which I thought was a good ending line. Death. I thought that was really good for him.
Yeah, because he is a god.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
No, it's cool. You could tell that he was also gonna die when he accepted the fact that he was Odin's son and everything. I thought that was really good. I never really cared about Loki honestly until Thor Ragnarok the movie and then this movie. Personally, that's just me. And I do like the fact that you get a little bit of Thanos fighting, like literally, like he's a big guy, so you always see from big guys fighting, like they fight more like just swinging like monsters or something like that. Honestly, when he was fighting the Hulk, he was just beating the Hulk like he was an MMA fighter. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't feel like, and that's probably the best thing that you can take away from this movie is that Thanos, he's not your typical big, buffy asshole like villain. I mean, he has speed on him. The guy has speed on him. I mean, he's taking on the Hulk like it's like a spar match. It's fun for him. Even Ebony Maw said, let him have his fun.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's more of like he's this is just a warm-up. Hulk is just a warm-up for him. I mean, when Hulk is a warm-up for you, you're a pretty menacing villain. Okay?
No, exactly. Dude, he had his armor on and everything, and like, I'm pretty sure, I like what he said, let him have his fun, because I'm pretty sure the Black Order was doing the majority of the work and like destroying the whole ship and everything, because I mean, they are his generals, so of course he's gonna let them do all the real, like all the handiwork, and then he'll take care of when things really get serious or when he needs the gems. So I thought that was really good. He's being Hulk's ass. He's basically made Hulk like a pussy in my opinion, but it's fine. Honestly, I'm not that mad. I feel like if Hulk was in here, kind of would have been some certain things that would be different. Obviously, at the same time, I think that the movie would have been over a little sooner.
Yeah, I definitely think that if for anyone watching this, Hulk's not really in this movie majority. At least the Hulk you want. We have more Bruce Banner in this movie,
which I'm fine with.
We've ever had, and it's okay because I mean, one, Hulk is kind of OP in a lot of fights, and to really have him like go on a rampage all the time is kind of like we wanted. I think they wanted the Avengers to really like have a little bit more of a struggle. I think if they had Hulk in it a majority of the time, maybe 3 of those Black Order people would be dead.
And I was honestly really entertained with Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner in this movie. To be honest with you, especially when he came back down and he was really scared what was all going on. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that scene. Like, it really felt like, man, it's just like getting real serious and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give Mark Ruffalo some type of like face time. I mean, you want him to literally be Hulk the whole movie and him saying like one-liners and stuff. Because
not only that, like a good portion of the movie, damn well they use CGI.
Yeah.
Not for the people, but like for where they're going.
I mean, you gotta give Mark Ruffalo some time. Like, he's a great actor, and also that I don't know why Hulk couldn't like get it up most of the thing, because he got his ass kicked by Thanos in the beginning, got beamed back to Earth, and after that Hulk was just like, I'm done. I got my ass kicked by Thor in Ragnarok, I got my ass kicked by Thanos, I can't. Hulk just didn't want to come out.
I feel like with the fact of, getting beaten by Thanos, it was more brutal than when he fought Thor, obviously.
Of course. But
like, it felt like it's like more of a like defeat. Dude, I'm telling you, it's like when I showed you that video of me playing Tekken Tag Tournament, that guy just kept beating me up on the wall. I never felt like such a damn defeat in my life. It was like that.
Yeah,
but
just like
I kept playing the game though.
Just like Hulk. But so we don't really see much of it, like Green Hulk, but definitely more Bruce Banner, which is actually nice. He does still play a significant role on the movie. All right, and definitely what I can say is the pacing in this movie is a lot better than a lot of other Marvel movies. Just that in the first 20 minutes or so, especially what you get from the trailers and everything, you maybe think, okay, well, and they did a great job of marketing this movie. You see in the trailers that, Thanos has, in this scene only 2 Infinity Gems and stuff like that. And really, in the first 20 minutes of this movie, you already got Hulk fighting Thanos. Loki's dead.
Mm-hmm.
He's got already another Infinity Stone than he had previously.
Yes,
Black Order basically,
which he got from the Nova Corps.
Right. Doctor Strange and Iron Man meet, which is a big thing if you really think about it. It just happened, and just to go back to the pacing. You have to think that it's been 10 years, and it even showed in Marvel Studios logo that there was the I and the O was a 10.
That was a good addition.
Because it's the 10th anniversary, it's been a culmination of all these years. So you have to realize, like, for going into this movie, especially the first, even the second time viewing, for the first 30 minutes to include all of what I just listed, and then as well as, you know, Thanos and the Black Order, they didn't take their damn time getting to Earth. I mean,
they should.
Thanos literally told his children, "Go get the Infinity Stones. There's 2 on Earth," and they went.
And we're all gonna meet up.
And they went to go get them. They didn't wait for another act of the movie to come get them.
No.
Like they didn't go and no, they went straight to Earth.
Wow.
And
any hesitations?
Without any hesitation, they came on a freaking frisbee.
Giant donut.
Yeah,
in the words of
yeah.
Tony Stark.
And you know, we got my boy Tom Holland over there, Spider-Man in the bus. And
on a school field trip, man.
yeah, and it's funny because when I watched the movie in theaters with you, you made a comment saying that does no one notice this? The bus driver doesn't notice this big spaceship, and immediately after he said that, it cut to Stan Lee cameo of him being the bus driver saying, "What, you kids never seen a spaceship before?"
Dude, what are the freaking odds?
I was like, wow, yeah, I really answered your question right there.
And honestly, the fight between them and Ebony Maw and Black Dwarf, which was the big giant dude, I love that fight. I like the fight between them a lot. I was actually really scared when I saw Ebony Maw going to Doctor Strange, only because when you read the Infinity comic, because Ebony Maw, he is kind of like a sorcerer, like an alien sorcerer of sorts, but what he really does that makes him a real threat, he just speaks words, and he could convince anybody of anything. Like, he could just manipulate you just with his own words. So that's what he did with Doctor Strange in the comics, and he manipulated him, made him release all these demons. It was insane. That's what I was kind of afraid of, especially like with the needles on his face in the trailer.
Right. The trailer definitely made him look more menacing. And I do like how they just get right into it, really. You know, Ebony Maw lands. He talks about how the children of Thanos has come for the Infinity Stone. Yeah, he's talking all that shit. And how, Earth your death is merciless and your insignificant lives and stuff. You know, just a real prick.
Yeah, be glad you're gonna die in life for Thanos.
Yeah, just a real ass. And you know, then he comes in. Iron Man's like, yeah, Earth's off limits. Like, get out of here. Even Doctor Strange, man, because Ebony Maw makes a comment to Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange's like, no, I speak for myself. Like, you're trespassing. Like,
dude, I was like that, man.
Yeah, like
does that.
And it's just like, oh yeah, you definitely see. Like I said, the duality. Iron Man's his own man. He's going to talk his own crap. But Doctor Strange is his own sorcerer supreme. He's going to talk his own crap. And he's going to defend his own planet. So, like, it definitely was nice to see both of them. Like, yeah, get out of here, Squidward, you know?
Yeah, no, dude. I really like the humor in there, man. Honestly, good moments where they made me genuinely laugh in this movie. I like that a lot. Thought they really hit it on the money in comparison to all the other Marvel movies they made.
It didn't feel as forced.
No, hell no, it didn't
feel
feel
as
forced. Like, genuinely, I'm like, yeah, no, I would definitely say that myself. I honestly know exactly where you're coming from. That even when Bruce Banner was trying to transform and Hawk out, and then Tony was like, oh, you're embarrassing me in front of the Wizards? Nah, that was hilarious. I loved it a lot.
I loved how Spider-Man's just, even though he's way out, he doesn't belong in space at all. He's way out of his league, but he's just that.
He said he should stay on the school bus.
He's that determined, and he feels that responsible that he needs to deal with this threat. And he also, I feel like the main reason is because Tony Stark told him to protect the wizard. Tony Stark told him and gave him the objective, like, hey kid, this is a wizard, he has a stone, you need to protect him and all that. And Spider-Man went out and he did his job. And he tried, even though he was in freaking space, he was like, no, I gotta help the wizard. Like you said, Mr. Stark, I'm gonna like help the wizard.
Yeah.
So you can definitely see like how mature he's becoming and into like he's trying to actually like adhere to his responsibilities, even if he's out of his terrain.
And I honestly do like the dynamic how they keep growing the relationship between him and Tony. Literally from we get Civil War, then you get especially in Spider-Man Homecoming, and even in here. So I do like how you just get to see more like how much weight like Tony has over him, or how much like Tony like what he says or what he does or sort of speak has an effect on him basically. I mean, in Homecoming, he wanted him not to stay. He wanted to stay out of danger and not mess with the Vulture and all that. Of course, he didn't listen and everything. But at the same time, there's a real good respect there. There's a good dynamic between there. I mean, obviously, that's his surrogate father figure in a sorts.
Ebony Maw did great in the scenes that he was in, but especially how they, spoiler alert, killed him.
Yeah.
Was very, it felt literally like a writer writing off a character. Mm-hmm. Like, literally just like, alright, he's gone because we need to focus on other.
And I do understand where some people are coming from when they say they're not that fond of how the Black Order were done in this movie. And I actually do understand that, especially if you're those that read the Infinity comics, amazing comic guys. It's just due to the fact like there's such a huge threat, and you know they're Thanos general. So I honestly, personally, I really was expecting them to be at least a couple of them to be in this movie to the end, and then maybe you get them in the next movie. Because I mean, yes, I get it. They could just fight Thanos in the next movie. That's not. I mean, I'm just saying. My point is, I would like to see them fight somebody else. I mean, I like the Black Order a lot. They're really cool, especially with Ebony Maw. That guy's doesn't even like die in the comics. I believe he's still around. I think, but I don't know. It's just the way they killed him off was pretty lazy in my opinion. Just that I get it. You know, you throw him in outer space, he just freezes. Bam, he just like stuck in that state. Cool, I guess. I'm not mad about it completely, but I'm just like, well, damn, you kind of just threw him away to the side.
Yeah, I feel like with him having all that power and stuff, it's like really he got killed by I mean, getting sucked out into space. That's really basic and something that honestly he probably should have had some power to like, you know, repel or something. But
yeah, I think around that moment, that's when they jump us to the Guardians of the Galaxy and everything.
I think they actually jump us to. It could have been either the Guardians of the Galaxy that jumped us to Vision and Scarlet Witch. I'm not sure. But
yeah, because I
think it jumped to actually the Guardians and then the Vision and them.
Because yeah, when we get Vision and you know Scarlet Witch, they're in where were they again? Germany, right?
They're in Scotland.
Oh, okay, they're in Scotland, and you know they've been honeymooning from what it seems like. You know, both from different teams.
I think it was like 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2 year. It's a 2 year time skip, guys. So for those of you that are going to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm pretty sure that takes place within the 2 years that transpires. So this movie takes place 2 years after Civil War, which really does explain, you know, why Captain America's real scruffy and everything. That's why another reason why it could be kind of difficult for Tony to want to call him. Like Bruce was saying, like Tony, you know, Thanos is coming. Like he was scared for his life. And he's saying that you gotta
like
call him.
2 years after Civil War, essentially.
Yes.
Like you can imagine that if they still haven't talked, how much like things left unsaid in those amount of 2 years have been building.
They
up.
Still haven't even gotten to see each other in this movie yet, too.
Yeah, they haven't at all. That's another thing. Thanos' children go after the Mind Stone that Vision has.
And Vision does sense that they're coming.
He does sense
something's coming,
but he can't sense when someone's right behind him with a freaking staff.
That scene literally made me
jump
because it was just so it catches you off guard.
He was mid-sentence.
He's in mid-sentence. He's just talking, so you don't really expect that to happen. Yes, you know that they're going for the other stones and the source, but at the same time, it just out of nowhere you just see a giant goddamn spear right through his chest, which is stabbed by him by Corvus Glaive, and that's actually what the weapon is. It's a glaive.
Right, and you know, he even made a comment. Vision did, saying that he couldn't phase through the glaive. That it would pierce through him and he couldn't phase through it, which is not supposed to happen, I guess.
Yes,
so Scarlet Witch has to, you know, bandage him up and everything with her little Scarlet Witch.
As much as she could. Because Corvus Glaive, with the thing about his weapon, as long as it's intact, he cannot die. Because it basically makes him immortal. Because it's a special type of weapon, so it's actually really difficult to destroy.
So I wonder if he's even dead or not.
I want to assume he's not. I don't
because
really recall.
What happened is he got hurt when. Okay, well let's get like.
Cause we're almost there.
Right, we're almost right there. So basically, Vision gets stabbed. They fight a little bit more. Mind you,
good fight scene.
Good fight scene, but Vision is not a good fighter. Okay.
Terrible.
I feel like in the comics he's a lot more OP, but in this they just made Vision like just not know what to do in a fight because I mean he's getting stabbed multiple times. He's getting like punched and thrown around. It's like, dude, you're Jarvis and Ultron and
Banner.
Right, you're all of these things together. You can't freaking beam someone or like fight.
That's what he did in Civil War.
It's
just
like
beaming from the head.
I don't know, man. I just feel like him having Ultron is enough to be like, you should be able to know how to fight. They made a whole movie on this guy. I mean, he obviously can fight, so why can't you? But regardless, you know, they fight in. They almost get the Mind Stone, but you see a shadowy figure, and it's basically Captain America in the shadow in the distance. He throws a staff at him, and he catches it.
And Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow and yes, they're both Scarlet. And Falcon. They all come and join the mix.
No, see the thing that's funny in the theater, dude. Everybody was like, "Oh snap! Oh Captain America!" Then, "Oh snap! Black Widow." Then it shows off Falcon. Everybody's like, crickets. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it is. You make it that one guy. It's Falcon.
Okay.
Falcon is like the. No, I was that would have sounded dumb. I was gonna say Falcon is like the Hawkeye, but Hawkeye is like the Hawkeye. so
like personally, because I think Falcon's cooler than War Machine. Honestly, I think he did more.
I just think that War Machine has more utility to him just because he has like basically drops bombs. Like freaking, so he's artillery there. But also for all of the Hawkeye fans out there is no Hawkeye in this movie. Don't come to this movie thinking, oh, I'm gonna see Hawkeye at all. Don't even come to him thinking that he's in the movie, because he's not. They don't even mention him.
Not even Ant-Man.
Not even Ant-Man got a mention at least.
Yeah.
Freaking Bruce Banner said there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man ? But as far as Hawkeye, not even a freaking mention at all. So any Hawkeye fans are disappointed. I hear you, brother. You know, they're trying to give him a freaking kid and a wife and kid and family, and basically, oh, I'm gonna retire from the Avengers because how the hell am I gonna fight Thanos with a bow and arrow? Like, I'm sure they just didn't know how to write.
I mean, I don't think people were thinking it only because you got some like magazine pictures of him for the Infinity War. So I mean, yeah, they tease you there. Maybe delete a scene. You never know.
I just think that they didn't write Hawkeye good enough for him to be in this movie at all.
No.
I think that they had no idea where to put him. They barely had any idea where to put Falcon. So it's like, how are they going to do Hawkeye? What was he going to do? After Captain America saves Vision, after he's getting attacked, they go to Wakanda. But before they go to Wakanda and everything, I'm pretty sure they showed us Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
because they met Thor. Right, we didn't go to Wakanda before then, because that whole arc with Thor and the Guardians and Rocket, that was long. That lasted throughout most of the movie.
Yeah.
So
and then you know, they do when they get Thor, because they get a beacon message that was actually in the beginning of the movie for Asgard. So they get that beacon message, so that's why they even go there, which makes complete sense. I'm glad they added that in there, because you know, they're hoping to gain some money, because you know how they are. And then you know, they get Thor, they call him Pirate Angel Baby.
He was like a pirate guy. Had sex with an angel. Yeah. Drax.
I like that a lot. I don't know, man. Drax, I mean, I don't like him that much, but he kind of made me laugh.
He made me laugh in this movie more than he's ever made me laugh.
Ever.
Honestly, and it's okay. You know, if you gotta have that one asshole throwing some jokes, you gotta have it in there. But so they pick up Thor. They keep making jokes about his muscles. So then Thor wakes up, talks about how Loki's dead and Thanos is coming and all of this. And they basically start talking about, you know, that's when Gamora basically starts talking, because, like, she's the daughter of Thanos. Like, if there's anyone that knows dirt on Thanos and knows how evil he is, it's her. So she starts, you know, talking and stuff. Even Thor comments, like, oh, you know, your dad killed my brother. But cleared up, like, oh, no, I hate him. So then they start talking about where the Infinity Stones are and how there's one in Nowhere, where they went to in Guardians 1.
Yes, that's where that's where the collector is.
Right, they went to the collector that had Howard Duck, which I don't know where he is now.
No, man, we're not gonna get the Howard Duck movie, man. Unfortunately,
I guess not. Thanos came and destroyed everything. So
well, sad. Sorry, Howard Duck.
You know, so while basically Groot, Rocket, and Thor went over to.
Where they went to where
Nebuchadnezzar or something like that.
It was where the giant dwarf was, which was basically played by Peter Dinklage. So they went there to that place to go make a new weapon, because Thor was gonna need a new weapon. He wanted to make a hammer, but they ended up making his axe sort of like a hammer as weapon. It's called Stormbreaker. It's in the comics as well. For those of you that don't know about it, the first time I ever seen it was in the Avengers animated movie. But no, it's a real good weapon. It's a lot of story behind it. I thought how they did that was cool, but we'll get more into that a little later.
Yeah, and so that team basically goes off to make that weapon. And that takes actually a good chunk of the movie that they're actually doing that. It's not like that's a small task to make. Mm-hmm. They're making a new, basically God-killing weapon. Like it's going to take some time. So they go over and they do that, while the rest of the Guardians, which include Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis is still there.
I'm glad she's still there. Actually.
Yeah, because Mantis is a good addition, honestly.
Yes, she really is. She's very helpful. I like her character. She's beautiful in my opinion. Yeah. So I think all that just combines into one great character.
Like if they honestly didn't have Mantis in a lot, especially like when they're fighting Thanos, I don't think they would have gotten into the position that they were in. But so they go off to Nowhere to get the Infinity Stone from the Collector. But Thanos is already there essentially, and he was already there, but he used the Reality Stone that he already got before they even got there to make it look that he didn't destroy everything and everything was like still fine, and that the Collector was still alive. Because you see Thanos talking to the Collector, and then you see Drax in the corner, and Thanos doesn't know that they're there yet. And Drax is over here like, oh, for my wife and kid, I'm gonna kill you. And then Mantis puts him to sleep, and he just falls.
Okay, look, I understand the thing about for Drax. I get, he's mad, because it is because of Thanos that his family died and everything. It's just that when you think about it, Guardians of the Galaxy, then he blamed Ronan for all that.
Dude, he blames everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of a little surprised that, I get it, his family died, but I'm just a little surprised that he kind of got that reckless everything. Like, he didn't learn from the first movie how that screwed him over, basically. Because Ronan just whooped his ass at that point when he got mad. And then going against Thanos is even worse. I'm just like, come on, Drax. And it's funny that Peter Quill, of all people, was trying to, say, hey, man, no, don't lose control, or basically just calm that shit down.
Yeah, kind of ironic if you watch the rest of the movie. But, so basically Drax falls and alerts Thanos because, Drax is David Bautista. He's a big guy. He's going to make a loud noise when it's hitting freaking metal. So Thanos is over here, throws the Collector in the tube, which is not even the Collector, because eventually he just reveals that everything's been destroyed, and because the Reality Stone actually manipulates matter.
So how long did it take him to realize that they were coming? At one point did he know they were coming?
I think he knew that they were gonna come eventually. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he knew that they're gonna come so soon.
He's just being more smart.
But he's smart enough to know that they would come for the Reality Stone. He didn't even honestly probably care that much. I think he was more so, I'm getting my Reality Stone. Then he got it, and then he's like, okay, well the Guardians are coming, and my daughter is a part of them, and I need my daughter to find the last Soul Stone.
Yes.
So basically, in the ship, Gamora gets Star-Lord to promise her that he'll kill her if she's ever taken by Thanos, because she knows something that Thanos doesn't, and if she told Peter, then he would know too, and he would be in danger essentially.
Exactly.
He would know a secret.
Really good.
So
really good writing there.
Right. So she basically makes him promise, and he has to do what any good boyfriend freaking does, and say yeah, and so he agrees, and then it actually comes to terms where Thanos is right there. Gamora actually stabs Thanos in the neck, which was badass when we first see it, because you don't know it's all a projection of reality from the start.
Honestly, when she did it, I was like, man, that was pretty damn easy. Even Peter even calls that. I'm just like, yeah, no, that would have been pretty easy for you just to get him like that. I'm pretty sure he's more durable than that bullshit.
Yeah. So even he makes a comment like, oh, that was easy. And then she basically he doesn't undo everything yet. He grabs Gamora. Then Gamora basically hints to Peter like, hey, don't aim at him, aim at me. So then he has to think, oh god, I have to kill this girl. He doesn't want to at all. It's actually a very good scene. And even Thanos is encouraging Peter,
dude, I love that, man. Thanos was so amazing in this movie. I like that as well, man.
Yeah.
He's even saying, yeah, come on. And he's like, oh, see, you expect too much of him. I thought that was amazing, honestly. Really antagonizing, honestly. Made it real hard for Peter. That's mentally, breaking this guy down slowly but surely.
Right. Out of any villain, Thanos is definitely the best well portrayed by Josh Brolin. Mm. And this is definitely his movie more than anything. You see a lot more of Thanos, and you do a lot of other characters.
Yeah, man. Like you said, we're going to get more of him and Thor, which makes complete sense.
Right. And so he's basically do it. Kill my daughter. I want to see if you can. And then Peter eventually, after a little bit, breaks, and he has to kill her, and he shoots, but he has the Reality Stone, which manipulates matter, and he turns all of his ammo into bubbles, essentially. Turns his gun into bubbles, even. And then, he's like, oh, I like you. Because basically, he's like, you had the balls to do it. I like you. I like that. And he just teleports with his daughter, essentially, after that. I like how they actually make Thanos feel a lot more human than anything. Hell, he's a freaking Titan, alien, world killer or whatever, but he's over here talking English and freaking crying, and he's more human than you may think. So after he gets done kidnapping Gamora and turning Mantis into spaghetti noodles, Nebula apparently snuck onto Thanos' ship and tried to kill him somewhere in the timeline.
Because she really thought that was going to work.
Because she thought that she could do that. Yeah, so egg on her face. She got taken over to Vormir.
Are you sure that's what it was called?
Vormir.
Vormir?
It's Vormir, I think she said. Or Formir or something.
I don't want to say Vormir. I want to say
it was Vormir. something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, they go there.
Which I thought was the thing I thought that was really good about that. Dude, you see the Red Skull, and honestly, I've never ever even cared to see that dude again until that moment. One, because Red Skull, he is an interesting villain in the comics and everything. Two, I kind of forgot what happened to him in the Captain America movie. I really did. I forgot he got beamed up into the sky or something like that. Also, I like the position they put him in. I like the design. He looked way better than he did in the actual Captain America movie.
And that's because it's not Hugo Weaving as a Red Skull.
Oh shit!
It's actually.
I know Hugo Weaving. He actually said he hated working on the Captain America movie.
Yeah, that's not him in that shit. That's why he looks different, and he's actually voiced by a completely different guy. It's actually the gay dude from Walking Dead.
Gay dude from Walking Dead. Wow.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think it's like Ross something or whatever.
Wow. The one with the curly hair.
The one with the curly hair.
Wow.
Yeah, that's him as Red Skull, actually. Fun fact.
Wow.
So it's not Hugo Weaving. I was like, oh, it doesn't look like Hugo Weaving. It's not. So yeah, Red Skull is there. And you're like, whoa, mind blown because I haven't seen you in like 6 years. But,
dude, that's awesome.
You know.
I couldn't even tell.
Yeah, neither could I. I had to look that up. But it's like, oh, damn.
Still stuck as that guy from Walking Dead. I was
yeah,
watch it again. Just
yeah, he actually looks cooler. That's the funny part.
Wow.
And he's basically saying to Thanos, hey, you want the Soul Stone, you gotta give up something that you love. A soul for a soul to get the Soul Stone.
It's only fair.
Good news for him, he has Gamora, which is like the most happenstance, like, oh, thank God I didn't like come here by myself. He has to kill Gamora. He has to throw her off of the tall ass mountain that they're on.
And I thought they did a real good job at that, just due to the fact that like. One, it was so much scene. You see how she's like basically trying to get out of his grip. You can't get out of his grip.
You see her emotions. They start to slow down the scene a little bit.
You see him crying.
The music was on point. They slowed down the scene a little bit to show you. You could see the weight of him like throwing. It wasn't just like, come here, Gamora. Rah. Like if this was a comic book, you could have easily just written in like, oh, he just like ha 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 throws his freaking daughter off, and it's like whatever. It's a comic book. You don't care.
For him.
But it showed, and I'm glad they did. It showed his like. You know, almost human side. Like it showed that he did care about it. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna throw you down here because you're just a soul I need to sacrifice for a stone. No, you're someone I love. That's why he even got the stone in the first place, because he actually genuinely loved Gamora. But at the same time, I know after like reading articles and stuff that one of the directors actually said that the Gamora is actually still inside the Soul Stone.
I would have believed she would have been in there too.
Right.
Only because, I don't really see them taking her out of Guardians of the Galaxy.
She's really important.
Yes. Zoe Saldana does a great job as Gamora as well. Definitely the highlight of her career. So I definitely would love to see more of her as Gamora. Even if they kept her away, I wouldn't have mind either. It doesn't really offend me or anything.
Yeah, but it's good to have confirmation that like she is still inside the Soul Stone. Now, whether or not it's the same Gamora or just her soul, I don't know. But she's still, a part of her is still inside the Soul Stone. So that gives me hope that maybe they could bring her back. One of the few characters that you see die that actually make come back. So after he gets the Soul Stone, because after he gets the Soul Stone, he goes straight to Wakanda. So that's why we need to get back into what Captain America and everything was doing. So they go to Wakanda after. It's actually after Vision and everything, because we skipped
the whole thing happened with Vision.
Because we skipped ahead a little bit, but they basically go to Wakanda. That's where Bucky's been. So they go to Wakanda. They basically ask them, hey, like, we got Vision. We need Shuri, essentially, to and she's awesome. We need her, 'cause she's smarter than all of us, to get this Mind Stone out of Vision's head, without killing him, and saving Jarvis and Ultron, all of these things that we've like put together, and we want to like keep that other part.
How those other tribes feel about him letting everybody just come up in Wakanda like that?
We've seen Black Panther and how that dynamic was. They had basically a whole war about the whole idea of letting the rest of the world into Wakanda. So hey, whether they like it or not, Thanos came to them. They went to Wakanda. They didn't go to like freaking.
Because Vision was there.
Vision was there, yeah, but they needed Wakanda. After they go to Wakanda, and they like Shuri tries to tell them, hey, this is gonna take a while to get this freaking Mind Stone.
It's a trillion
it's a trillion nerves that you basically want me to like disconnect, but if I do it like wrong, it can set off a whole domino effect. Yeah. So you gotta give me some time. And they're like, oh, hey, would you look at that? Thanos' children are right outside of Wakanda's things. You're gonna have to hurry your ass up. And she's just like, what do you expect from me, Like,
I don't think she was even nearly close.
She wasn't nearly done with doing that crap, okay? but they wanted her to do it, and she was smart, and she tried to do it. She probably got like 60,000 weight, 60,000 nerves, and it's pretty good. You need like a 2 trillion. So sorry if I couldn't do it all, but basically Thanos' children show up, and they try to get in, and they see the barrier and everything, and then they start summoning these like
That vibranium
lizard.
is strong.
They start summoning these lizard monsters.
I forgot what they were called, but they're from the Infinity comic as well. Basically, they live to die.
Yeah,
basically in a way. Same thing kind of for the Black Order, but nowhere near as reckless. Black Order is nowhere near as reckless as they are. Those guys will literally try to go through the vibranium shield, and then they'll just be burning off, or they'll just be splitting in two or something.
I mean, they're acting like World War Z zombies, honestly. Climbing on top of each other, trampling each other, going through and killing themselves just to go through and kill themselves.
Dude, Prostitute Midnight even said it. She said, we have lives to give. Like, they don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they have a load of these bastards.
their little lizard lives are insignificant to them. So they basically threw an onslaught at the shield. Then they started going around, because they're trying to get the Mind Stone. That's the main objective. They started going around, and they're like, no, we can't let them go around. We're going to have to, like, funnel them in and then take them off there because it'd be better. So he actually opens up the barrier to funnel them into a little section where they can fight him. And that was an awesome scene too, because they're like from the trailers you see them like chanting like "Ibombe, Ibombe." It felt like a battle, like a war was about to happen. This is Infinity War. This was like the first war moment of the movie where it's like we're looking at each side, we're seeing the Avengers like at each other's sides. We have a villain on the enemy side. We have a whole army in front of us. That was the first like war.
There right now.
He's not even there. This is just his children and these little lizards. But it's feeling like a war right now. So they start coming. My boy Black Panther is in the front lines like the king he is, and he's leading because I mean they're in Wakanda. That's his area, man. He's gonna go and fight for his country like a king. So he's out there in the front line, him and Captain America running fast as hell, and they start fighting. They start going at it. You see a lot of good fights in here. You see the Thanos' children fighting. There was this whole like girl fight that like Scarlet Witch.
Cat fight.
It was Black Widow.
It was Black Widow. It was Scarlet Witch wasn't there yet.
Michonne from Walking Dead.
Okoye.
I forgot her name. Yeah, Okoye
and Prostitute Midnight. And another thing about the Black Order, they do have another female. Her name is Supergiant, but they never added her in, which isn't a big deal because she whatever. But no, they do add Prospect Midnight, which I thought she looked amazing in this. I thought they kind of captured her really good. I mean, she kind of has more of a crown in the comics, but it's honestly completely fine.
I mean, basically, Scarlet Witch comes out of nowhere, picks up one of those little like Halo 3 freaking.
Damn, the scorpion. It was like the scorpion.
Yeah, they literally look like scorpions without the back end. They basically come going through. Scarlet Witch picks them up, kills her with them. Essentially,
I did not like that. I fucking did.
I mean, a lot of Thanos, basically all of them, had really shitty deaths, or at least very like immediate, abrupt deaths.
Yes.
Like Ebony Moth just gets sucked out of a window. He's dead. All this fighting is happening. I think meanwhile, while this fighting is actually happening. They're fighting Thanos. Thanos finishes killing Gamora to get the Soul Stone.
Sounds good on paper.
He comes back to Titan, and he sees, oh damn, I guess Ebony Maw's dead, or like most of my children are dead.
But at the same time, he did still say Maw did complete his task. He did retrieve the Infinity Stone. Still came.
Right, because the first thing he saw was Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
When Thanos lands, you see Doctor Strange. I don't know if he was meditating.
No,
he's just sitting there.
sitting.
He's just sitting there. He has a time stone in his little amulet, and he's like, "Oh no, Ebony Maw completed his mission. You're right here. You're a fool." And Doctor Strange says something along the lines of like, "Oh, our conviction."
Who's that again?
Because Doctor Strange, when Thanos was there, he said something about our conviction or we or something. Something that mentioned that there was a team.
Yeah.
And Thanos was like, "What do you mean, like we?" And Iron Man just drops a rock on him, like a big rock. It was a big structure. It was like a building.
Or a ship or something.
It was like a part of the spaceship or a building or something.
Yeah.
It was big.
And Thanos didn't have enough time to use that gauntlet as well.
He didn't react. He was just like, and then a big, I don't blame him. So. Then they start fighting, and honestly, that was probably the best fight of the whole movie. Just because of, like, the people that were fighting in the movie are, like, great fan favorites. You got Spider-Man, Iron
did
Man,
an amazing job.
Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, Freaking even Mantis did some shit. I was surprised. I'm like, oh, Mantis, go, you know. And you have all these people. I don't even think Drax was doing shit. Really. He didn't.
I don't recall.
Drax didn't do anything. Okay, but still, you got all these like really like prominent Avengers fighting Thanos basically for the first time on film, and it's exciting. It's great.
Peter is technically an Avenger. Tony did knight him.
Yeah. It was funny that it's especially funny with Iron Man talking to Star-Lord, because now when they actually met up, Star-Lord thought that they were with Thanos, so they started fighting.
No, it was.
They all thought that
they were. Scuffle.
It was a funny scuffle, and it gave us like just a whatever reason to see them fight, because that's what we just want to see them like. Let's just see them fight. Fuck it.
Like we want in Avengers 1.
Right, and then Civil War, it's like there's a good amount of like want to see some of your superheroes just fight each other. Like it's like, yeah, I want to see Spider-Man fight Star-Lord. Why not? So that was actually really cool. So they all think that they're working for Thanos, and then eventually, like after fighting each other, they're like, oh, dude, I'm not with Thanos. What are you talking about? And then they started coming up with a plan, because they basically are all going to Titan anyways. They just come up with a plan to ambush him, and they do, and it was a great fight, greatly choreographed, great CGI was on point. I mean, there was a scene where, and it really showed how powerful Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet really is, because I mean, like he uses these things like it.
I'm glad he used them more, because he used them way more than I thought he was ever going to, and I'm glad he did use them a good amount. Honestly, smart move on his part. Either way, even with the Infinity Gauntlet, he will still be able to handle them on his own, because no matter what, because Thanos is a Titan, that does actually mean something, and I think he's a part Eternal or sorts, but that's another hierarchy of alien race there, so he does have leverage over them even without the Gauntlet.
Right, I mean, yeah, he's definitely a powerhouse even without the Gauntlet, but with the Gauntlet, he's doing incredible things. I mean, he's fighting Doctor Strange, and just the back and forth of throwing the power beam, him blocking it, him throwing stuff back, him making it into a black hole, him making it into butterflies, and then Doctor Strange turning into like freaking hundreds of Doctor Strange, like trying to tie him down. It was a great fight scene, very well choreographed.
Yeah, it really exposed of what everybody's like, capable of, and just how dire the situation is, and they pull out stops on what's occurring just to try and stop this menace in their eyes from trying to achieve his own goals.
And I think one of the coolest scenes was when Thanos used the Infinity Gauntlet to kind of like break off parts of the moon and chuck it as like little meteorites, and that was actually really badass. I didn't like how it showed that, and then it cut away to like them making Thor's hammer or axe and everything.
Yeah, that kind of slowed the pacing.
It slowed the pacing a little bit, and it broke up that action sequence that was really like an awe-inspiring action sequence. Like it kind of broke that up too abruptly and made it more like, okay, we're gonna slow down the pace to like show him making his hammer. Which I get that they gotta show him making his axe and everything. That's important, but like, dude, give me like 30 more seconds. Like you just threw a moon at them. I want to see what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you throw a moon at somebody, and then 5 seconds later you cut to freaking 3 minutes of Thor making an axe. It just chops up it a little bit, but it was still well done.
No, of course.
After that,
he makes the axe, but we already said that. Then Groot, cut his own like arm off.
Oh no, I was gonna say more that like they basically get Thanos in a position where
when they get him to be able to get the gauntlet, they have him tied down basically, have him restrained, especially with help of Mantis. She's kind of like trying to hold him down. Strange had his regular hand, and Spider-Man and Tony were holding his gauntlet hand.
You're right. They were holding his gauntlet hand, and Doctor Strange was holding his regular hand.
Mantis was on his head.
And keeping him asleep. And you gotta appreciate Mantis's power, because like she's shown time and time again, it doesn't matter how powerful these motherfuckers are, okay? Mantis will put your ass to sleep, okay? Mantis will put Peter Quill's dad, who's a Celestial, to sleep. Almost on a regular basis. Like, that's his, like, freaking Advil. Like, that's how he goes, that's his NyQuil. So, she can actually put even Thanos, with the Infinity Gauntlets, with most of the gems, she can put him to sleep. That's impressive. People don't give Mantis enough credit, but that's actually a very useful power to subdue somebody. And they almost got it, but Star-Lord learned that, because Nebula was there. And honestly, if Nebula wasn't there, maybe the conversation wouldn't have led into how it did. But Nebula was there, and she basically was saying, like, oh yeah, no, she left with Gamora and he didn't come back.
Yeah, and she explained, first to get a soul gem, you have to give a soul for a soul, or you have to give the thing that you care most about. So that's when Peter put two and two together, and he basically lost it, just like how Drax did, which was pretty, like you said, ironic that he's telling Drax, to keep his cool, but that he loses his cool. Yeah. I just thought it was kind of ridiculous that he did that, but at the same time, of course you understand why, and I like the scene either way, though he did do it, because you just get more in depth with Peter's character. I just like that. More of those heart-to-heart moments with him. I love that in any of these Marvel movies, no matter what scene, especially, when Yondu died and everything. I love those no matter what.
Yeah, that was a good scene, and obviously, it could have been better if he waited or did it like after they took out the
Tony tried to stop him,
which was a great scene too, because you got Iron Man and everyone's struggling, and it's like, oh dude, but I don't want him to throw another moon. Like, let's get this freaking gauntlet off. And they're struggling. You got Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic Iron Man. If they ever replace him, it's always going to be sad to see him go. But because he's fantastic, he's like, we almost got this off. Like, please, like, because he knows he's about to lose it. Mm-hmm. And he just loses it. He starts hitting him on the head, which I would have gone for the dick if I was like, I would have just kicked him right in the balls. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, seriously, hit him in the head.
Because it's like you got Mantis and she's losing her grip.
Hit him in the head, like you could have just shot at him or something.
She's losing her grip because you're hitting him in the head like an idiot. Kick him in the balls, like throw his gauntlet off. Like, there's so many things you could have done to him in a fury of rage that probably would have been like a little bit of a better hit. But no, you have to like completely ruin the plan, and basically as Spider-Man's about to get the gauntlet off, Thanos catches the gauntlet at the end of the freaking it coming off, and then puts it back on, and just starts kicking ass. I think after that, that's when he threw the moon. Because I think he got mad, power gem like Drax and Star-Lord and all of them, because I remember he did like a wave.
Oh yeah, he did that.
And then he was like, I'm gonna get the moon. Yeah, and then he just chucked it at them because
you're right.
Screw you guys.
Because even when Spider-Man tried to tag him, that's when he chokeslammed him basically.
Oh, and then when the moon's coming down, you see Spider-Man swinging his ass off and all that debris.
He's trying to save everyone.
And he's just saving everyone. And he's like, I got you. I don't know what your name is. I just met you, but I got you. That's my boy. Swinging around, saving people. That's what he does. That's why he's a true hero. He's over here swinging around. They're all unconscious. He's saving everyone. I just love seeing Spider-Man swing in any movie. It's great. Always entertaining. But so they get back together. Thanos basically leaves because he's like, he leaves after, and mind you, this is important to say. In a ship, in the ship when Doctor Strange and Iron Man were first talking.
No. You didn't say the scene when he was fighting. When Iron Man had to literally fight him by himself at that moment.
When Iron Man had to fight him by himself. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was so much stuff that happened in that battle sequence. I can't believe I forgot.
Yeah, but so Spider-Man was actually saving everybody too.
But before that, I go back and because we never talked about this really, but Tony Stark was talking to Doctor Strange before any of this fighting even happened on the ship. And Doctor Strange basically said, hey, if it comes between saving you and the kid and the time stone, I won't hesitate to let both of you die for the time stone because it's that important. And then Tony Stark's like, okay, good moral compass. That transitions to
he was looking at 14 different ways.
He was basically meditating in the time stone to look at 14 million different possibilities of them winning or losing or whatever. And he basically said, in all those 14 million possibilities, there's only one that we actually win in. So that makes me, obviously think that whatever Doctor Strange thinks should happen is a direct correlation with that one event where they win. Mm-hmm. So you can only trust him so far. So basically, it contradicts exactly what he said because what happens is Iron Man gets stabbed, essentially. There's a point where I guess everyone's unconscious. Because
Spider-Man saved them all.
So Spider-Man saved them all because they're all unconscious because he threw a freaking moon at him. And Iron Man's fighting Thanos by himself.
And he held his own really
He held his own. This guy doesn't even have freaking powers. And he's fighting a Titan with 4 Infinity Gems.
Real kudos to Josh Brolin and Robert Downey Jr., especially the choreographers that helped do that scene. Honestly, everybody that helped with that scene did a fantastic job. The CGI to everything, honestly.
Great acting and everything. And Iron Man's holding his own against Thanos by himself. I mean, he was fighting him for like 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Now you tried to fight Thanos for 40 seconds. Hulk fought him for like 20 and almost died. Hulk was like, oh god, I don't even want to come out no more. I got my ass beat. He's over here holding his own. He don't even have no powers, dude. He was getting some good shots on Thanos.
Damn, man. Are you trying to say that Iron Man's stronger than the Hulk?
Hell no. But, hey, he definitely is smarter. So he's over here. It was a good line by Josh Brolin. He was like, because Iron Man like hit him. He did this like cool
all that
like,
for
thing.
a drop of blood.
All that for a drop of blood. And then he just freaking beats him up, man.
Dude, it's funny because it's just different shots of him getting punched in the face.
Dude, he got punched so hard one time, like his mask came off, and he was about to get punched again, and then a new mask came on and just freaking got punched again. I'm like, man, he's getting his ass beat. Where's everyone else, you know? So as that's happening, Iron Man like takes out his like sword, I guess he got somehow, and he tries to hit him with it, and Thanos breaks it off and stabs him right in the gut. And especially in the theaters, that was such a oh my god moment, because it's like, especially the first time watching it, you're like, are they gonna kill this guy off right now? Because like, I know people are supposed to die in this, and I just saw Iron Man like get stabbed. And not to mention, Thanos is over here talking about, I hope they remember you.
I love that.
And
hope they remember you.
He's just basically saying that, you know, when he balanced the world, you know, half the population disappears, only few will be left over, so I hope they remember you. That's why he was saying that.
Right.
Because he's basically like, yeah, you're dying. And you're just gonna die right there.
Yeah, but twist. Doctor Strange then tells Thanos, "No, stop! Don't kill him. I will literally give you the Time Stone if you do not kill him or if you spare his life." Completely contradicting what he said like an hour earlier in the ship. And so now, at that point, as a fan theory, you think, okay, well, that's probably like he has to do that because Iron Man is the only way that they win. It's the one opportunity, you know, one chance out of 14 million where they win is if Iron Man is alive. That's why he had to give up the Time Stone. He's like, no, if you die, we lose anyways. You're gonna get the Time Stone anyways. So I might as well give it to you, sparing this man's life, so that we can win in the long run.
Yeah, and that's why he even said at the end, we're in the end game. And I actually like that a lot. I will be so down if they name it Avengers Endgame, honestly. I think it'll be a great working title in there. So I do like the fact, you know, he did have to give it to him. Hey, like he said, man, it was the only way. I mean, of course he didn't want to do it, but it's the best option he had at that moment. You gotta actually have to like sympathize with that.
Oh yeah, so that was a completely crazy scene. I mean, like,
and at that moment, you think that's when like Star-Lord is like, oh, did we lose?
Oh yeah, you lost.
Pretty much, and that's when we go all the way right back to Wakanda.
Right, because Thanos went straight to Wakanda after that. It wasn't like I gotta take a shit, I got a detour. He went straight to Wakanda to get that last stone. He's like, I'm so close. I just got 5 Infinity Stones. No one's ever done that before. Alright, I just did it like whatever in a day. And
I like that too. This movie, whole thing took place in a day.
Oh, this thing was quickity quick. It wasn't like Dragon Ball Z trying to find the Dragon Balls and shit that spanned like 78 episodes. It was like, boom, this guy got all of the stones. So he goes to Wakanda directly, which was great because they're still fighting everything. They're still fighting.
Yeah. I think Presley Manley already died. Black Dwarf already died. I think Corvus Glaive, he was still alive.
He was still fighting Vision at that point.
He was fucking up Vision.
But I think they killed him.
He killed him because Captain America came in. Then he helped out. And Vision is down from behind, which is bullshit.
Yeah, and then Thanos came at that moment.
Corvus Glaive is my favorite Black Order character. That's one reason it pisses me off so much.
And then they're like, oh, that's him. And Captain America's like, stay alert. Like as if Captain America's gonna freaking touch Thanos. So yeah, that basically
it's funny, man. As soon as Thanos came, everybody, like all the Avengers, all of them came. Black Panther, all of them were already there. I'm just like, okay, no, it's like when Black Widow was there, I was just like, were you like all the way over there and somewhere else? Like, when the hell did you get over here?
Yeah.
I mean, they all try to help Vision and everything. Oh, forgot that. Corvus Glaive. The only reason like Corvus Glaive was even fighting Vision was because when Scarlet Witch came to go help everybody fight Prospect at midnight and everything, she basically left Shuri regardless. So that's why Corvus Glaive was able to come in and Vision like attacked him and he went all the way into like the
They had to stop the procedure because he was already there about to get it.
He was definitely gonna kill Shuri. She kept that shit going on.
Oh yeah. So, then basically Thanos shows up. He's like, I want that last stone. I definitely do. I'm not sugarcoating or hesitating. Yeah, I'm going after it.
Even told Scarlet Witch, like, you don't understand how much I gave just to like achieve this.
Yeah. So basically what happens towards the end is now that Thanos is here, there's no time to save Vision. They're like, no, we gotta kill this stone now because there's no way we can like give him the last stone because it's referenced like 3 different times in the movie. If he snaps his fingers and he has all the stones, he could wipe out half of the universe like that. Like
Gamora even said it, like literally.
Yeah. So that's definitely something that's not even like exaggerated. They're like, no, he can literally do that in a snap. Like, so. When you see it's like, okay, the stakes are really high. Thanos is basically right here, and Vision's right here with the last Mind Stone. Like, he has to die. Scarlet Witch is the only person that can, kill or destroy the Mind Stone, which sucks because obviously she likes Vision a lot. But she has to do it.
Yeah.
So
it was a necessary evil.
So Falcon's over here trying to. He didn't do shit to Thanos. He just fell.
No, of course not.
Captain America tried. I mean,
yeah, he even tried like the whole. Like,
he even tried to hold it.
Like even like Thanos, he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I feel like Thanos is just like. Huh?
He's like, damn, you're a strong human. I gotta admit that.
Get out of my face! I want the Soul Stone or the Mind Stone. So like, they're trying to fight. It's a last ditch effort. They're like, no, we gotta literally stall him. It's not even about beating him at this point because he's so powerful. You gotta understand. He's got the Reality Stone. He's got all of the other stones that make him OP. He's got the Time Stone. He is over here throwing Avengers into rocks, morphing them into the rock. Like, he's doing a lot. And
see, that's another thing that does make it actually sucks for their effort because they did not know he had a time stone, nor did they even know what the time stone was. So they were nowhere near aware. You could just tell from the look at Scarlet Witch expression.
She was not prepared. She was like, oh god, I have to kill him. So she's using all her power to kill the Mind Stone out of Vision. And then basically she does it and breaks the Mind Stone and it scatters and it breaks and oh my god, Vision's dead. But Thanos has the Time Stone and he just reverts it right back, right before, because he's like, yeah, screw that, and then takes it anyways and rips it out of Vision's head anyways.
So Vision dies twice.
Vision dies twice anyways. And that's not I think they're going to bring him back kind of death. That's like they ripped the freaking thing out of his head, he's probably dead.
Unless you can find an AI chip or some shit.
Yeah, and then at that moment, Thanos gets the final stone after this whole movie. He's been trying to get it. And he puts it in, and he gains all the power from all of the stones.
I like how he adds another one, and he kind of makes him power up a little bit.
Yeah, you see,
it makes sense
you see it surging through his veins.
Because when it comes to Infinity Gauntlets, like in comic, I'm pretty sure the same thing applies here. Not just anybody can wield the Infinity Gauntlets because it can take a mental toll on you. It can make you lose your mind and everything. So you have to have actual real strong willpower just to maintain it and control it. Because you'll just lose your mind if anything. All that power.
So he gets all this power, and then. Well, previous to this, Thor kind of shows up with his new Stormbreaker. Like he just shows up a little bit.
The
before.
audience in the theater went crazy.
Yeah, they did go crazy when it comes to that. Right before a little bit before Thanos showed up, Thor showed up and he started like wreaking havoc on the freaking lizards, and so he's
really good.
Yeah, that was actually really dope. I think that's the coolest Thor has ever looked.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
Ever he's ever looked. I've literally not liked Thor. This movie made me like Thor a lot more. And so basically, once Thanos gets all the stones, Thor's in the sky. Thor throws his Stormbreaker. Thanos, like an idiot, doesn't get out the way. He's just like, oh, I'm Thanos. He starts shooting his laser beam at the Stormbreaker, but the Stormbreaker's powerful, man. It's the heart of a dying star.
It hits him right in the chest.
It hits him right in the chest, right through, plunges through. Thor comes down, shoves it even more down his freaking chest.
Honestly, no, I thought that was real good. And he didn't die, but he said you will die for this. I thought that was a little good scene there.
Yeah.
And Thanos had a point, though. He said you should have aimed for the head. Yeah, you definitely should aim for the head.
So Thanos says you should have aimed for the head, and then at that moment snaps his fingers, and then it just like basically all goes white. And I think that's when we see him talking to Gamora.
Yeah, yes, because he's
in
a
little
room.
He's in the Soul Stone.
He's in the Soul Stone, let's say that. And then he goes there, little kid her, and she's like, oh, did you do it? He said, yes. What did it cost? And he says everything. And that's when just people begin to start disappearing. First off with Bucky.
First was Bucky. So you see Bucky, Cap sees him in the woods, and then Bucky says something along the lines of like, oh,
he just says Steve.
Like Steve, and then he just disappears.
Yeah, it's funny. On Instagram, somebody posted like literally every Avenger that died, like last words. I'm just like, well, that person got a shitty last word. Like,
yeah. They just dismantled. They just disappeared. They turned to dust. It almost looked like they were pixelating, but they really just turned to dust. They evaporated essentially.
Because for a moment I thought he did something with time or something. The way they were just saying like, oh yeah, like you never existed. I was like, huh, damn, that would be real crazy they did that, but that wasn't really the case, obviously. Yeah,
so it starts off with Bucky, and then you start seeing actually the Wakandans start disappearing, just all the soldiers and stuff. And then you see Black Panther talking with Okoye, and then he's like, oh, this is no place to die. And then he just starts disappearing.
Yeah, no, a lot of people thought it was going to be Okoye, but then as soon as you see Black Panther, you're like, oh shit, okay, it's getting real serious.
Yeah.
Because them doing that to him, man, that bothered me.
Oh, it bothered everyone.
One of the few people that I was actually like, wow, they're disappearing down.
Because he just had a great movie that earned him so much money, it's hard to believe that they would actually, actually kill him off.
I mean, it's all this prior to that.
Yeah, so he disappears, which was the first one. Because, I mean, Bucky disappearing is like, okay, Bucky disappeared.
It's like, alright.
But Black Panther disappearing was when everyone started waking up, like, alright, is this like...
No, wait. I think it was Falcon first and then Black Panther.
Did Falcon even disappear?
Yeah, no, he did.
War Machine didn't. Falcon did.
Yeah, Falcon did.
Yeah.
Because War Machine was like, yo, Sam, where are you?
Yeah, Falcon disappeared, and then Groot.
Groot disappeared.
Groot disappeared right after that. And actually, they confirmed that Groot's final words was dad. That was the final thing he said to Rocket.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that's a canon.
Like, they actually somebody put no. But
He said dad. Like, that was in the script. Because, like, Vin Diesel, I guess, he's, like, one of the only people that gets, like, the actual, like, what Groot says. Because, like, obviously we just hear I am Groot, but he's actually saying stuff. He said dad to Rocket, which is a really, like, heartbreaking thing if you think about it.
Of course.
Like, that looks his Rocket as his, like, father figure. And
yeah, because they even said that, Groot died basically in Guardians 1, so this is not
like
the same Groot. Version. This is just another variation of Groot. It's another person.
Yeah, and I'm sure Rocket took a lot of care of Groot more than a lot of other Guardians. But so Groot disappears. Then it cuts to, I think it cuts back to Titan. Or like one other person disappears. Maybe.
I think it was Falcon.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet
Witch disappeared.
She did?
She did.
Oh, Scarlet Witch. I'm thinking fucking Scarlet Witch.
No, not Black Widow.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch. No, she did.
Scarlet Witch disappeared. Then we start seeing stuff because you think, oh, people on Earth are just disappearing. Then we go to Titan, and then who would disappear first? I think Drax, or was it Mantis? Mantis disappeared.
No, Mantis is like something's happening, and then
Mantis disappeared first, and that Drax, which showed you that it wasn't just Earth, like it was most of the universe essentially.
Yeah, Drax was like Quill, and then he disappeared, and then Quill's like, oh great.
And then he disappeared. So then you saw basically most of the Guardians, besides literally Rocket Raccoon disappeared.
Yeah. Nebula's still there too.
Nebula, if you want to freaking count Nebula.
Might as well make her disappear too.
Yeah, at that moment we're like, dude, all these big people are disappearing. Your head's kind of exploding as a fan because you don't want at that moment you're thinking, damn, who's next? Like, I don't want
Doctor Strange was next.
Doctor Strange disappeared. He's like, sorry, this had to happen or whatever. He just disappeared. But when Spider-Man, and that was the big kicker, when Tom Holland started to say, I don't feel good, Mr. Stark, and then you start seeing like little particulates of him kind of flaking off. That's when you're like start panicking, like, oh my god, like is this actually happening to Spider-Man? And then Tom Holland did a great performance.
Yeah, he improvised that.
He improvised it. He did a great performance.
That scene.
He literally did a great performance. He couldn't have said anything else to like hit those notes that would have made you feel like teary-eyed or like have some type of impact or emotion. Because he's there like Mr. Stark. He's looking at him as like a father figure, obviously. Because you see everything he's done in the movie, he's done because of Mr. Stark.
Of course.
And he's like, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And he's got that puppy dog like voice on. And you can't help but like feel some type of way about seeing Spider-Man like helpless and dying. Like you can't help but not feel something.
No, of course, because he's a kid. He's 16 years old still.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go, and he doesn't want to go, and he says he's sorry, and then he just, disappears. You see him disappear on the floor. Tony Stark is, still trying to clutch him, kind of, in shock almost. And it's crazy, because
he tells him, I'm sorry.
You think about it, Tony's the only one on Titan right now. Everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Everyone just disappeared.
Honestly, it's just how's he
gonna get back? How's he gonna do shit?
So Honestly, actually, yeah, dude. When that happens and everything, that's basically when the movie just. Oh no. Okay, yes. Then they show Thanos.
Right.
Actually, goes back. Where did he go? Actually, specifically.
He went back to because he had mentioned they actually showed a scene of him and little Gamora with, like a flashback of when he took over her planet, and he basically his ideology in that, and it was actually a good scene. He basically said that him killing off half of their population basically made that place a paradise.
Yeah.
The people there, the kids that grow up there, know nothing but full bellies and clear skies. It's a paradise. So he's basically saying his sacrifice for killing all her people is that the people that live there now have great resources at their hand.
And he was even saying, you know, once he just raised half of the universe population and everything, you know, he's gonna go and sit down, you know, a nice basically with a nice sun shine and everything.
On a grateful universe.
And I like the fact that they had him sitting there, you know, their little tent and everything, because that is still an homage to the Infinity Gauntlet, because that's kind of how it ended. With him just on a planet, and then he's just got a small space. I mean, now when he was defeated, so that's kind of different. But I still like the fact they kind of gave some little homage to it.
But also that, not to mention that when Thanos does snap his fingers, the Infinity Gauntlet is showed to be like fried or just like malfunctioning, or just it honestly looks like burnt out. Like it looks pretty freaking destroyed.
Oh, definitely. What he did was
what he did was very much powerful. And you know, it took a lot of you could see the damage visibly to his Infinity Gauntlet. It's not sure if maybe the next one gets another one or tries to fix it. I don't know, but he has it's working enough to where he can actually teleport. Like he teleported out of there, so that stone works. That part of it functions.
I think the stones are still working. It's just the gauntlet withstanding, like holding all of them is.
I think it's fragile. I think it's like about to break, basically. Yeah. I think that like he can still use it, but if he snaps another finger, that's just gonna break. You know, he can't snap his finger anymore. He can't go to the tunes or anything. But so you see it's damaged that way, and then towards the end of the movie, essentially, you see the final scene of Thanos sitting there on. I'm presuming the world that he was talking about. That Gamora was there, and he just looks at the sunrise, and you just see him smile one last time, and the movie cuts to black, and it ends.
I like how it ended too. It just ended with a subtle song. And yeah, actually with the Avengers song or the song that they use for the trailers, but it's just like all slow and a little timid.
It's slow, and then it just says directed by Anthony Russo and directed.
Yeah, honestly, the Russo brothers did an amazing, fantastic job. And then, you know, you get the end credit scene where you see Nick Fury, who's a person I've been saying for a while, where is this guy? Like, what's he's been doing? You get him, and I forgot the damn Asian chick that he's with, but her. And basically, she disappears because at first they've seen like, you know, like shit's kind of going out.
Yeah, there was like a plane that fell out because the pilot disappeared.
Yes, and you know she disappears, and then Nick Fury tries to make a call, and then he starts to disappear, but he makes a call. Let alone with what do you call it?
It was like a pager.
Yeah. It was one of those. I haven't seen that in a
old school tech.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. Yeah, you know, I guess, trying to understand Captain Marvel over here because that takes place in the 90s, you know. I'm not sure if she's stuck in that, you know, she's kind of like in that like mindset of that time.
Dude, but I think sometimes old tech is harder to trace than new tech. So you got a pager that's not going to necessarily be traced like a beacon. Or
true.
As much as like other advanced technology.
So he contacts Captain Marvel because you see her logo on the pager, which I think is really good. I am looking real forward to that movie. It comes out next year, am I correct?
Should be. I mean,
because we're getting Ant-Man and the Wasp, but you know damn well nobody's really worried about that movie or really concerned with it that much, only because it takes place like 2 years before this happened.
Yeah.
It's all still kind of trying to like just maintain with like Infinity War at the moment.
What's funny about that Captain Marvel movie is if Marvel was still called Marvel and not Marvel Studios, it would have been called Marvel Captain Marvel. It just would have been like Marvel. Jesus. Captain Marvel. Yes. I don't know, it's been funny. It's still kind of funny because Marvel Studios Captain Marvel, but whatever. But that's obviously going to be a nice movie. She's OP. Brie Larson looks great as her. Yeah. And then she's obviously going to play an integral role in the next upcoming film for Avengers. But I think she was actually supposed to be in this movie, but they took. I think they deleted a bunch of scenes, or they took out stuff. I was looking at a lot of interviews after the movie. I was genuinely curious on like what they took out and what they wanted to do differently and stuff. And they wanted to put like Adam Warlock into the movie.
I bet.
That they said that like Adam Warlock in and of itself, the whole introduction of that would have taken like 30-40 minutes, and like there just was not enough room.
No, it's completely fine because Adam Warlock, he's the tactician when he can't. Because Infinity Gauntlet come, he's the tactician when it comes to that because he's the one that kind of he's a person of strategy. He's the one that was explaining to everybody, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. He even had like, cause when in the scene when you have Thanos going against Captain America in the comic books, it is similar to that, but it's more kind of actually cooler in the comics when Thanos going against Captain America. Because Captain America at that point back then in comics, he was like hope. He was kind of stand for humans or kind of like everything heroes. So he was one that was standing against him, and he was like, yo, Silver Surfer, like Captain Adam Warlock was saying, Silver Surfer, you're gonna go there and you're gonna go and save Cap at a certain time. Just wait on my mark, because Silver Surfer is really fast. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna be the one to do that. So, and not only that, Adam Warlock, he's the only person that doesn't like put his feelings or anything like that. He's the only person that can do that because he sees everything as chess. Like everybody has pieces or pawns, because he's like, if I think of them as like people, then I'm gonna put my emotions and all that. And it's gonna screw
his judgment.
Exactly.
But so yeah, they were saying that they wanted to put like Adam Warlock in the movie and stuff, but I understand why they didn't. They're like, just to introduce the character. It's not like you can just, oh hey, look, it's Adam Warlock. Like you can't just bring in Adam Warlock and then completely not say anything about his backstory or introduce him or anything. It just doesn't do it justice to the like fans of the comics. So what they said they were gonna do is like leave that backstory telling for Guardians 3 essentially. Like I mean, they're gonna basically have Adam Warlock a more prevalent figure in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is confirmed. Which goes back to another point I was making about the fan in you knows that some of these characters aren't really dead because Spider-Man has a sequel coming up. And we know that because Tom Holland can't keep a freaking secret for his life. And he has a sequel coming up. Black Panther made like $1 billion and something like or more. They're probably gonna have a sequel.
But isn't Avengers 4 coming out in May as well? I mean May
2019.
2019?
Yeah.
So they have to get a couple movies out.
They have to get a couple movies like right before then because I mean, is
Adam Warlock gonna even be in Avengers 4?
We don't know. Probably though, he should. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it honestly all depends on how they formulate like when Guardians 3 comes out, conjunction and.
You gotta tell us what that next phase is gonna be.
Right, because that next phase is gonna be some craziness.
Yeah, no, who knows what movies you're gonna make, man? You might make a Namor Submariner movie.
Well, the thing is, the reason why this next phase is probably gonna be so crazy is because at this point, Disney has gotten so many entities together and so many characters that they originally didn't. Like, it took them a while to get Spider-Man from Sony. And they got a couple characters from Fox. Like, they're trying to work on the X-Men and shit. And so, like, they're slowly getting back their own characters. Like, Venom and stuff was like they're still trying to, because a lot of the legal aspects of owning those characters are lost in different companies. Exactly. So Disney as Marvel is trying to like get them all together, and once they finally can get them all together, then they can like make the next phase, which is like the actual comics, which is having Wolverine and Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock and all these people like interacting.
No, of course, it'll be amazing.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see what the next phase is, but definitely for especially Infinity War, this was a great first step into that transaction of the next phase, because it's going to be a tough transaction. It's not always going to be flowers and rainbows and Avengers and everything. People are going to die. People are going to like not come back.
No, of course they should.
And that's just is how it is in this universe. But for any comic book fans out there thinking about checking this movie out, or like if it's worth seeing it in theaters, buy a ticket now. Don't slip on seeing this in a big screen, because it definitely needs to be seen on a big screen.
It's definitely worth it, guys, because it really does cater to all. I think everybody could get enjoyment out of this, no matter what age or anything of the source. Comic fans, people that don't read the comics at all, or anything, I think you all will find something in there. It does cater to those that do enjoy the comics as well. It may not have the execution that you may be looking for, but at the same time, I think you will get some interest out of it, especially those that's been following for the 10 years on the journey of these movies. I think you really will come to accept and enjoy exactly all the work that are put in, and honestly the ride that you went on just to get to this point of all these characters and just the enjoyment that you were brought from it.
It's something that honestly no other studio can accomplish.
Exactly.
Just because for them to have accomplished what this movie meant to a lot of people, they would literally have to build 10 years worth of movies and content and story building and storytelling that you simply don't have the time to put all those 10 years worth of interactions and scenes and stuff into 2.5 hours. You can't explain all of that in that amount of time. And that's why I think movies like Justice League and stuff haven't been doing that well, because yeah, you're trying to put together this team and stuff, but it's not like Marvel, their first movie was Avengers. Like, their first movie was what, Iron Man? That like basically kicked off the MCU.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Marvel had a couple other hit and miss movies,
That's
but
me.
the actual MCU that they started, that we know now, that really started with Iron Man, the whole Avengers initiative and everything. So you would have to really go back and recreate all those moments, and you just can't do that. Like, Justice League just can't do that for me. You can't. There's not enough movies and content there for me to care as much when a Justice League movie comes out to when the Avengers movie comes out, because like I've grown up my whole life watching these movies. Essentially, like, they're a part of me growing up. I've learned things from like these movies and stuff. So it's just something that you can't get in a lot of other studios.
No. But it's honestly, I'm not really worried about them. Like you said, this is about Marvel, so I just hope nothing but the best for them. Hopefully more great movies to come out, even introduce even more characters. Let me be Miles Morales, all the essential things.
But this is definitely like something you want to catch in theaters, guys. This is definitely something that like it's gonna cater to a lot of fans, but it's also gonna not. And you have to go in that completely accepting and knowing that fact that there are things in this movie that you're gonna see that you're like, oh my god, I've been wanting to see Spider-Man Iron Suit for the longest. Oh my god, they did a great job on it. Oh my god. And then there's gonna be things in this movie like, oh god, they killed off Gamora, blah 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 blah. And then there's just gonna be things that like you're not gonna like, obviously. But you have to, the fan in you has to accept that there's a little bit of a liberty to these things, and you have to let that artistic freedom like shine and give it some time to like marinate. Because after first watching it, there's a lot of things I didn't like of the movie, and then watching it again, my objective side of me sees like, okay, I see where they're going with this. Like, it's not all like really bad that they didn't stick to the comics. There's a lot of things that like if they would have done the thing that they did in the comics, it actually would have been probably worse. Because there's some stuff in the comics that aren't always like the best decisions, man. Like, you can't just like say the comics are the holy grail and that you need to follow comics to a T, because honestly, comics did some stupid shit. Like,
No, of course. And yes, comic book fans, just go into it, just seeing it as a Marvel movie, just not as something that is specifically based 100% off of the Infinity Gauntlet or anything. They're just taking little hints of that, the Infinity comic in itself, just to try and bring a movie all together in itself, just to try and cater more to you guys. Honestly, there's no way I think that nobody would actually specifically hate this movie. So I think that you aren't wasting your time of any sorts. And guys, honestly, it is for me personally, it's a 9 out of 10 movie. No movie's perfect, obviously, but this movie is a 9 out of 10. And all honesty, what would you give it or anything if you had to?
I mean, it's definitely like probably like a 9.3, somewhere up there for me. It's nowhere near an 8. It's up there with my favorite superhero movies of all time, honestly.
Of course.
I don't know if I can give it the number 1 spot, just because there's too many things with it that
Exactly.
obviously could be better, but there are so many things that they did right with this movie that it would literally be hard for me to put another movie like super above it. Like, it's up in the top 3. It's great. I definitely recommend people to see it. Whether you even like comic books or not, whether you even like superhero movies or not, it in a movie on its own stands. It doesn't need all of it. It definitely helps to see all of the movies prior to that, but you don't even need to. It stands on its own 2 feet as a great movie.
And end it here. This video, it literally says an hour and 45 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, don't worry, you got a lot of work to do. So yeah, guys. If you did enjoy the review, if you guys seen the movie, the Infinity War movie, if you liked it or hated it, please do comment below, whichever one that you feel. If you feel there are any comments or characters that you wish that were in this movie that weren't, I'm pretty sure some of you would say Hawkeye. Or obviously, If there's anything else that you would like to see them do in further movies that they do have planned, or any other characters that get their own movies, please do comment below. Also, and if you guys did enjoy the both of us doing a video together, if there's any other movies that you want us to do a spoiler review about of any specifics, then please do comment below. I was even thinking about Last Jedi, if anything, to be honest with you.
That'll be fun. Because there's a lot of stuff to say about it.
But guys, if there's any other movies, animes, TV shows of any sort that you wish to be reviewed or spoken about of any sort, please do comment below. And as always, do ring the bell. It's a part of YouTube's new algorithm, so it does matter. And as always, like if you dare, and subscribe if you care. And always, Keon for Miles.
Keon for Miles.
And we're done, correct?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm like a star, I'm burning out fast. I try to shine, but it's never gonna last.